Be me. 30-year-old feminist, always prided myself on educating men. Believed my approval mattered to guys around me. Spent years giving feedback on male behavior and choices. Men used to ask my opinion on everything: relationships, career moves, social situations, personal decisions. Felt important being consulted about masculine choices. Thought my feminist perspective was valued and respected. Recently noticed disturbing pattern in male behavior. Men completely stopped seeking my approval about anything, not asking for advice, opinions, or validation anymore. Should feel good that men are becoming more independent. Instead, feel irrelevant and completely ignored by everyone. First notice with brother during his career change. Always came to me for advice about professional decisions. Thinking about leaving law firm to start consulting business. Expect him to ask for my thoughts and guidance. Instead, he just announces decision as accomplished fact. Already gave notice and signed office lease. Wait, you didn't ask what I thought about this. Didn't need to, it's my decision to make. Feel shocked that major life choice made without consultation. Used to be his primary advisor for important decisions. Now treated like he doesn't value my input at all. Dating reveals even more concerning pattern of male independence. Match with software engineer who seems thoughtful. Several dates where conversation flows well. He mentions considering graduate school for MBA. That sounds like interesting opportunity. Expect him to ask whether I think it's good idea. Already submitted applications and got accepted. Didn't you want to discuss this decision first? Why would I need your approval for my education? Realize men no longer seeking female validation for choices. Another guy who makes decisions without consulting me. Workplace shows same pattern among male colleagues. Used to ask my opinion on presentations and projects. Jessica, what do you think about this marketing strategy? Now they develop ideas and implement without input. Male coworker announces promotion to different department. Congratulations, didn't know you were considering transfer. Yeah, seemed like good opportunity for growth. Would have been nice to discuss career move. Not really your business what I do professionally. Feel excluded from masculine decision-making process. Friend's boyfriend demonstrates same independence pattern. Always used to seek approval for relationship choices. Thinking about proposing, what kind of ring should I get? Now he shows up with engagement ring already purchased. Beautiful ring, glad you asked for my input. Actually didn't ask anyone, made decision myself. Feel surprised that major relationship milestone planned alone. Used to be consulted about romantic decisions and timing. Now, masculine choices made without female validation. Family gatherings reveal cousin's transformation. Used to run every decision past female family members. Career changes, apartment moves, girlfriend choices. Now announces completed decisions as finished facts. Bought house in different state, moving next month. Would have been nice to discuss this major decision. It's my life, don't need family approval. Feel like masculine family members became completely independent. Decisions made without consulting female perspectives. Male friends stop asking for advice about relationships. Dating new girl, thinking about making things official. Expect detailed conversation about relationship potential. Sounds great, hope it works out well. Already made it official last week. You didn't ask what I thought about her. Why would I need your approval for my girlfriend? Realize men stop seeking female guidance for romantic choices. Relationship decisions made independently without consultation. Brother's friend group reveals broader pattern. Used to ask opinions about social plans and activities. Thinking about guy's trip to Vegas this weekend. Planning bachelor party for Mike next month. Now they organize events without female input entirely. Hear about completed trips through social media posts. Would have been fun to help plan activities. Why would we need your help planning men's events? Feel excluded from masculine social planning process. Workplace project reveals professional approval withdrawal. Male colleague working on major client presentation. Used to seek feedback and suggestions throughout process. Final presentation is tomorrow, ready to go. Didn't you want me to review slides first? Got feedback from other team members already. Would have offered different perspective on content. Presentation is fine. Don't need extra opinions. Realize professional validation no longer sought from me. Dating app conversation shows masculine decision independence. A match with accountant who mentions job interview. Have final interview tomorrow for senior position. That's exciting. What made you apply there? Seemed like good career move for my goals. Did you research company culture and values? Already did all necessary research myself. I could have helped evaluate opportunity. Didn't need help, capable of making own decisions. Feel like men view female advice as unnecessary. Nephew's college choice reveals generational independence. Used to be consulted about major educational decisions. Got accepted to 3 different universities. That's wonderful. Which one are you considering? Already chose and sent deposit last week. Would have been nice to discuss options together. My choice to make, didn't need family input. Realize younger men, especially independent from female guidance. Educational decisions made without seeking approval. Friend's brother shows relationship independence. Used to ask female friends about girlfriend problems. Having some issues with communication and relationship. Expect to be asked for advice and guidance. Working it out through couples counseling. Didn't know you were having relationship problems. Not really anyone else's business to solve. Could have offered perspective as friend. Prefer to handle relationship issues privately. Feel excluded from masculine emotional support process. Visit therapist to discuss feeling irrelevant and ignored. Men in my life stopped seeking my approval. Used to feel valued for opinions and advice. Now they make decisions independently without consultation. Perhaps they've developed greater self-confidence. But I enjoyed being consulted about important choices. Maybe they no longer need external validation. Feels like my perspective doesn't matter anymore. Therapist suggests men might be developing emotional independence. Question whether this is positive growth or rejection. Brother explains his perspective during family dinner. You used to give approval with conditions attached. Advice always came with feminist lecture about choices. Easier to make decisions without political commentary. Describe how my feminist perspective enhanced decision-making. Helped you consider broader implications of choices. Honestly, just felt like constant judgment. Every decision became referendum on sexism and privilege. Realized my approval came with ideological requirements. Men choosing independence over feminist evaluation. Male colleague shares workplace perspective. Used to ask Jessica's opinion on everything, but feedback always included social justice angle. Presentation suggestions came with diversity requirements. Project ideas criticized for gender implications. Easier to develop ideas without political analysis. Describe how feminist perspective improved work quality. Helped identify blind spots and bias problems. Maybe, but also made simple decisions complicated. Every choice became political rather than practical. Realized professional advice included mandatory activism. Friend's boyfriend reveals relationship advice problems. Jessica's dating advice always included feminist requirements. Couldn't choose restaurant without discussion of gender roles. Gift suggestions analyzed for patriarchal implications. Vacation plans critiqued for equality considerations. Relationship became constant political education session. Describe how feminist guidance improved relationships. Helped him consider girlfriend's perspective and needs, but also made romance feel like activism project. Every gesture evaluated for political correctness. Realized romantic advice included ideological obligations. Research male online communities discussing female approval. Discover forums about masculine independence development. Stop seeking women's approval for life decisions. Female advice often comes with political agenda. Make choices based on personal goals, not external validation. Men sharing strategies for independent decision-making. Women's approval creates dependency and obligation. Masculine confidence requires internal rather than external validation. Realize widespread movement toward masculine self-reliance. Visit college campus where pattern obvious among students. Young men making academic and social choices independently. Used to see guys constantly asking girls for opinions. Now male students seem much more self-directed. Relationship decisions made without female consultation. career choices developed through individual research, social activities planned without seeking female approval, generational shift toward masculine independence from validation, women's opinions no longer central to masculine decision-making, attend networking event where professional pattern continues, male entrepreneurs discussing business decisions, launching startup without seeking female partner approval, investment choices made through independent research, hiring decisions based on qualifications rather than diversity, business strategy developed without political considerations, market analysis focused on profit rather than social impact, professional masculine culture operating independently from feminist input, business decisions made without seeking female validation. Dating coach friend explains cultural shift in male behavior. Men tired of seeking approval that comes with conditions. Female validation often includes ideological requirements. Masculine confidence developing through internal rather than external sources. Men choosing independence over approval-seeking behavior. Self-reliance more attractive than validation dependency. Describes how men learn to trust their own judgment. Female approval became too expensive emotionally. Independence feels better than conditional validation. Family friend shares observation about son's development. Used to ask female family members about everything. Now makes decisions confidently without consultation. Seems more self-assured and independent overall. Relationship choices made without seeking approval. Career moves planned through individual research. Social activities organized without female input. Describes positive changes in masculine confidence. Appears happier making independent choices. Less anxious about whether decisions meet approval. 6 months of observation reveals systematic male withdrawal. Men stop seeking female approval across all life areas. Not rudeness, but complete independence from validation. Masculine decisions made through internal rather than external guidance. Traditional approval, seeking behavior eliminated entirely. Feminist validation no longer part of masculine decision-making. Understand that approval withdrawal reflects confidence development. Men learn to trust their own judgment completely. External validation replaced with internal self-assurance. Masculine choices made without requiring female permission. Independence more satisfying than approval. Seeking behavior. Self-reliance eliminated need for constant validation. Realized that conditional approval created validation fatigue. Feminist perspective always included ideological requirements. Men learned that approval came with political obligations. Decision-making became complicated by activist considerations. Approval-seeking eliminated to avoid political pressure. Masculine independence developed as protective strategy. Start questioning whether constant approval seeking was healthy. Men developing confidence through independent decision-making. Self-reliance more attractive than validation dependency. Internal guidance more reliable than external approval. Masculine growth requiring independence from female validation. Approval withdrawal might indicate positive development. Discover that men still seek approval from other sources. Male friends, professional mentors, family members. Validation sources chosen without ideological requirements. Approval sought from people who don't attach conditions. Masculine community providing support without political pressure. Female approval avoided because of activist obligations. Learn that feminist approval became politically expensive. Men avoiding validation that includes ideological education. Decision-making complicated by social justice requirements. Choices evaluated through political rather than practical lens. Approval, seeking eliminated to avoid activist pressure. Masculine independence developed through feminist avoidance. Understand that men want supportive rather than conditional approval. Validation without ideological strings attached. Encouragement that doesn't include political education. Approval focused on person rather than political correctness. Support without mandatory activist considerations. Feminine validation valued when free from feminist requirements. Realize wanting both influence and independence from men. Criticized masculine approval, seeking while enjoying being consulted. Men adapted by eliminating validation requests entirely. Getting exactly what feminist ideology demanded about independence. Approval withdrawal, feeling like personal rejection. Feminist success, creating feminine irrelevance. 6 months later, still struggling with feeling unimportant. Men in life making decisions without consulting me. Masculine choices developed through independent research. Traditional approval, seeking behavior completely eliminated. Feel politically successful but personally irrelevant. Feminist goals achieved through validation withdrawal. Understand that approval requires unconditional support. Men seeking validation without ideological obligations. Feminist perspective valuable, but not as conditional requirement. Support more effective when separated from political education. Masculine confidence developing through judgment. Trust. Approval. Seeking eliminated when validation becomes expensive. Learn that influence requires relationship rather than ideology. Men more receptive to guidance within trusting relationships. Political pressure, eliminating masculine openness to feedback. Approval, seeking behavior returns when validation unconditional. Feminist influence more effective through support than conditions. Relationship foundation necessary for masculine consultation. Realize that men stopped seeking approval because approval became criticism. Feminist validation included constant ideological education. Masculine choices evaluated through political rather than personal lens. Approval, seeking eliminated to avoid activist pressure. Men choosing independence over conditional validation. Feminist approach created masculine withdrawal from consultation. Understand now that approval withdrawal reflects boundary development. Men protecting decision-making autonomy from political pressure. Masculine independence developed through feminist avoidance. Validation sought from sources without ideological requirements. Approval withdrawal indicates successful boundary establishment. Feminist influence eliminated through masculine self-protection. Learned that effective approval requires unconditional support. Men seeking validation without political strings attached. Feminist perspective valuable when separated from decision-making. Approval more influential when focused on encouragement. Masculine confidence requires judgment, trust rather than external validation. Influence achieved through relationship rather than ideology.